Hello, and welcome back to Overbooked. I'm Amanda. Today, we're going to be doing a tier ranking list, all the books that I read in 2022. If you've noticed, I have moved locations to where I usually film. I have moved my office downstairs. I also have this obscenely large headset on my head. The computer that I use doesn't come with just a mic, so this is a headset that came with my husband's new computer, and this is what we're working with, because if y'all don't subscribe and watch my videos, I can't buy supplies. Guilt tripping maybe, but subscribe. Anyways, the quality of the sound may be terrible, to be completely honest. I have tested out probably 10 million times at this point, so we are moving forward with what we have because we're resourceful and lazy, and I just want to record. Without any further ado, I am going to pull up the tier list and all the books I read, and you may see some books on that tier list that I have not read yet, because for some reason I have books that I'm reading this year in 2023 on here. I had them in my 2022 books folder. So ignore those, and just pay attention to the ones I'm putting on the tier list. Here we are. Welcome to the tier list. Welcome. Welcome. Here we go. I have Goodreads pulled up on my other screen so I can remember the books that I read. We didn't read them together. And then I can go in order of how I read them. Let's start with number 1, which is The Heart Principle. This is the third book in the Kiss Quotient romance series. I thought it was solidly good. I think this was a lot better than what I was expecting. I think it had a lot of hard-hitting, deep stuff going on that I also wasn't expecting. I think it was just solidly good. Good romance. The next book that I read was The Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. This was my second Toni Morrison book, and wow, I just really love this book. I thought it was great. Great read for me in 2022. Then I also read Mediocre, The Dangerous Legacy of White Male America. Ooh, wow. A lot of white male mediocrity happening here in America. I would say it was solidly good. Yeah, solidly good book. The next book that I read was for my workbook club, which is kind of shocking that this was selected for my workbook club and no males in our book club finished this book or participated in the discussion. Take that with what you will. But Wow No Thank You was a favorite book of mine in 2022. Such a good, smart, hilarious collection of essays. So good. Another favorite of 2022 is coming up. Butter Honey Pig Bread. So good, so good. And I would like to take the time to say shout out to Book of Sen. If you're not following her on Instagram, you should do so. I'll link her down below. But she has a book club that I try to follow along with. I've been trying to do that for the past 2 years now, and this book was so good. So good. I read Bringing Down the Duke, which I kind of forget about. I don't think I've seen a lot of people talk about this book. Probably for good reason. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just a very book. I mean, it's about this woman. I don't know. This woman who lives with her uncle or something, and she goes to university and is trying to be a feminist in the 1800s. Girl boss. But yeah, she gets into some mischief and falls in love or something. But it wasn't great. I mean, it was very Rust and Stardust. This is a book I kind of forget I read. To be honest, I forget I read it. But it was really good. At the time when I was reading it, I was like, wow, this is a really good book. I would say great read. I remember I was listening to it as an audiobook, and this is what I was listening to as I was running. Man, it really motivated me to run because I was like, what is happening in this book? I gotta go run to find out. A book that convinces me to run. That's good. The Mercies. Yep. That was a great read. One of my favorites of 2022. Favorites. We love female energy. We don't love the female takedown energy, but we love the female energy. So I love that book. I read Liberty, and it was kind of I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I could not get into this book, but I just couldn't. And it was just very for me. Very, very I'm sorry to any Liberty lovers out there. I really wanted to love it, and I feel like it's probably a great story. It is a great story. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get into it. I apologize. Also, I feel like I'm going to be a little bit more ruthless this year in my tier ranking than I was last year. The Trouble with Hating You. It was fine, but just Not disappointing per se, but just Now we're coming back to an all-star. We're coming back to something bright and exciting. If I can find the book. There's so many books in here. I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay. The Sweetness of Water. So good. So good. So good. I read this as an audiobook, and this is a really good audiobook. Slapped. It was honestly so good. Favorite. A Little Devil in America. This was great. This was a really interesting book. I think this one's also another like collection of essays about Black performance in America. Yeah, notes in praise of Black performance. Yeah, really good. Shout out to the Stacks for having this as a book club choice because that's why I read it. My Monticello short story collection. I was really excited to read this. Kind of bummed. Guess kind of disappointed. I thought, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be my first no. Where are you? It's like trying to hide. It knows. Stay close. Ugh, oh my god. I read this for a book club with my family members, which was actually really fun. We read this book and then we also watched, there's like a Netflix show, like adaptation of the book, and it's a series. So we watched like all of the episodes and like waited to watch the last one together as a book club. And it was honestly so fun. The show was bad, the book was bad, but it was just like this fun camaraderie that we were sharing, and it was honestly one of the highlights of the book club from last year. And it was really fun, but the book itself was just terrible. It's definitely like a paperback drugstore kind of book, and yeah, it was a no. I would not recommend this to anybody, and I probably wouldn't pick it up if that wasn't in this book club. So we go from cold, and then we go to hot. And we go to hot. The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. So good. Such a great book. Such a great book. Love. Favorite. Everyone watching this video should go check out The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. And when you're done, come thank me. You're welcome. How the Word Is Passed. This was a great book. Great book. A reckoning with history of slavery across America. Just exploring different areas of America and how they're connected to slavery. And it was just really interesting. Well done. Very well done. Like, I feel very guilty about this one because I feel like a lot of people like this one, and I feel really bad, but it just was really for me. I don't know, you guys, I don't know why the yellow white. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I really apologize, because I know this was a favorite among a lot of people, and I just felt very about it. Those are my feelings. Born Trump was one of my favorite books in 2022. This was super interesting. Deep dive look into the Trump children. They all suck. Trump sucks. It was really interesting. It was like I was reading a really smart tabloid. Heavy. Oof. This was a heavy one. Heavy book. Memoir. I haven't read a lot of memoirs, I feel like, this year. It was really good, though. Honestly, I feel like this might be one of the only memoirs I read this year, but I'm glad I did. It was good. I feel like I'm getting out of breath. Moon of the Crusted Snow. I read this with my friend Rachel, and this was solidly good. This was kind of freaky and scary, but this was good. And I think the author's coming out with a second book, like a sequel to this book. I forgot what the word sequel for a second, but I'm really intrigued to see what that's about and how the story continues. So this was really good. Migrations was a great read. I read this. This was another book club book I read, and this was probably hands down everyone's favorite last year that we read together, and rightfully so. There was just it's a pretty short book, but there's so much things to talk about. There's so many things going on, and I think the author just does a really good job of conveying so much stuff in such a short amount of time. And I think I've talked about this before, but I honestly feel like shorter books, when done well, are just amazing. Just great. Because if you can encapsulate everything you need to encapsulate in a short amount of time, you know how to write. Russian roulette. No. I don't know what it is. Like, for a while ago, I put all these Trump political books on my want to read on Goodreads, and this year I was like, let's read all of them. So this is the second one out of 3 I think I ended up reading, and I don't know. I think that I just kind of already knew most of the stuff in this book. It was just it was very dry. Listened to it as an audiobook, which probably didn't help. Yeah, I probably just should have DNF'd it, to be honest. Made something, I don't remember the subtitle. What is the subtitle to this? Okay, hard work, low pay, and a mother's will to survive. Yeah, Oh, this is a memoir, I guess, right? So, second memoir this year. Nothing compared to Heavy. No. But yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't great. I think this is the last book I read with my last job. So, I mean, memories, tender. But, just wasn't great. I think it led to a great discussion, but just wasn't, it was just The Guncle. I would say this was a really solidly good, fun book. This is a fun book to read in the summer. I highly suggest that if you haven't read this book, read it, and to maybe wait till summer. It's just a really fun book to read in the summertime. Read outside when it's warm. I mean, it takes place in California. Half the time they're in the pool. Summer vibes kind of book, but also really good. There's a lot of talk of grief and how to deal with grief. That was really cool too. Kim Jung, born 1982. I think this is solidly good. Another buddy read with my friend Rachel. Rachel's gonna get a couple shout outs here, okay? And it was good. I thought this was a great book. Another short book. Really well done. The Right Swipe. Oh, you know what? I think this one is kind of in between solidly good and but I'm gonna just put it here and Yeah, definitely not one of my favorite romance books I read this year. Not terrible, but not amazing. So it was just kind of It was kind of, I'll move it up to good. Solidly good. It was good. She Wolves. This is a book. Story time. This is a book that my brother got for me like years ago. My brother went on a trip to Europe. Not my little brother going to Europe before me. He went to a used bookshop, got me a cute little book tote that I used to go to the library all the time, and then he got me this book. And I read it like 5 years later. It was pretty good. It was solidly good. Very dry. Very political. It was good. I'm glad he got it for me. And it's a really beautiful cover. The Swimmers. This was a great read. Another short book, but so like, whoa. Like I was like, what is going on? So good. Also read this while I was camping. I have a cute like video of me like reading in the morning. It was nice. It was good. Good book. Dial 8 for Aunties. Solidly good. I thought it was going to be better than it was, but it was good. It was a good romance. And a different kind of romance too. Atomic Habit, I would say, You know what I really just want to do, and I keep meaning to do this, and I'm sure there's something out there, is I just want to buy a workbook or like a journal of this book or something. Because I don't want to like, I think this book I enjoyed reading it, and I think I had a lot of great useful hints and habits like or advice to create habits, but I don't want to like reread the book every time. I just want to like like a little executive summary so I can refer to it. So maybe I'll try to look for that. I said this, I think I've said this twice, but I do really need it. So it was good. I think this is a great book to buy in January, but I want like a smaller condensed version. I don't want to read the whole book to know how to make a habit, which maybe is me just being, instant gratification, American consumerism. I don't know. Black Cake. Favorite. So good. Yeah, let's move her over there. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, this one was really good. I loved Black Cake. Shine Bright, another great favorite of mine. Yeah, that one was really good. I loved that book. X Talk. I think this one was a great read. That was a shocking, surprising, great romance. That was a good one. I just like love this cover. I don't know what it is about that pink. I just love that. So cute. The Maid, very for me. I'm sorry to all the cozy or mystery lovers out there. Maybe I would have read this in the fall or something. I don't know, but it was just to me. Can I just be straight up honest? I kind of thought it was boring. The Road to Jonestown was a favorite. That was really good. That was really good. Really good. Yeah. Under the Banner of Heaven is a buddy read I did with my friend Rachel. Where is the book? Yeah, solidly good. This one's really heavy. This one's really dry, but interesting. I would say it's kind of between good and eh. We had a lot to talk about after we read this book, so which was nice. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know. Do I do it? Ah! City of Girls. Like, what was that? Like, it was just a really boring book to me. I'm so sorry to anybody watching this that loved that book. I thought it was boring. I wish it delivered more. I really did. I mean, maybe it'd be a disappointing To be honest, I think the only reason that I got through this book was I think I've told this story a million times, but I went on this really long road trip this summer to see my friend in Minnesota, like a 16-hour drive. And so I'd finished The Road to Jonestown, and I think I got through like 10 hours of this book. And by that point, I was like, well, I've already made it 10 hours into this audiobook. I might as well just finish it. But man, when I was not just straight driving and I actually had to just like incorporate this book into my daily life, it was so hard. I was like, did not care about these characters. I don't know. I just hated the main character to me was not main character energy. The people around her were. She was not, and I didn't know why she was the main character. The Portrait of Thief. Wow, I feel bad. There's just it is what it is. Wahala. Where you at? There she is. Favorite. Wahala was so good. Wahala was so good. You should read Wahala and have it as a book club pick. I think this would be a great book club discussion. Hola Papi, I would say was solidly good. That was a really good one. It's a really short one too. So I listened to this on another road trip. It's like a 6-hour audiobook. Great. Especially if you're trying to make your Goodreads goal or something. It was a really, really good collection of essays. The guy used to do this blog where gay men would write in and say, Hola Papi, and they would have a question. And he kind of like, that's how he structured his book was like, Hola Papi, and then question. And I loved it. I thought it was really great. This next one. Lord, The Watchmaker's Daughter. Man, this one sucked. This was another one I read with my family book club, the same one that we read, Stay Close. So we've had a lot of swings and misses this past year. It was not good. Terrible. Terrible book. Terrible. It was so bad. When We Were Birds, I'm going to defend myself here. Well, let me make myself look bad. Putting it here, I think this was written really great, really well done, and interesting, but I think a lot of it just went over my head. Opal and Neb. Oh, the final revival of Opal and Neb. This one was good. I also read, I don't know how many book clubs I just randomly walked in and walked out of last year, but this was for another book club that I joined. I read like half of this book in one day. It was really good. This was really good. And I love, my favorite part of this book is it's a fiction book, but the author put in footnotes. And I thought, wow, I see you. That's really smart. And it was really fun. I loved reading the footnotes. Just no. Never Fell for Fiance. Nah. Next. Last Call. Solidly good. Yeah, I think this was a really good book. One Last Stop. They're solidly good. And this is the thing about Casey McQuiston. I think she really writes great character dialogue and like development, but then like I'm really invested in those moments with the character interaction. But overall, sometimes I think the book just kind of falls flat. With that being said, I've only read 2 of her books, but that's kind of how I've felt about both of them. It Happened One Summer. Favorite. I love this book. So steamy, hot, and steamy. Loved it. The Witches. Yeah, I don't know. It was just really dry for me. Just really dry and so long. So long. But I knew that going in. Is that some of it on me? Yeah, some of it is on me. A Mercy. Third Toni Morrison. This one was good. I liked this one. I liked this one a lot. This one was really good. The Last Thing He Told Me. I just feel like being a savage. If there's a savage in the book world. I don't know. It just was like, really? I don't know. It was like a no for me. Finished it though. Book Lovers. I don't really know what to say other than, yeah. Coltish. So good. Very good book. Loved it. Definitely recommend. Check it out. The Personal Librarian. That was solidly good. I almost kind of want to put in disappointing, but it was good. I think it was good, and it was good. How many times have I said good? It was good. Set on You. I'm set on this book. Yeah. One of my favorite books of last year. All of these books. Yeah. So good. Love that one. Empire of Pain was a great read. That was a crazy ride. Crazy, wild ride. Oof, man, those Sacklers. They're too much for me. The Un Honeymooners. I thought this was a great read. I thought that was a really good romance book. Probably could have been a favorite, but I don't know. I just thought that was really good. Shout out to Miranda. Shout out to Miranda. She's the one who told me to read this book. The Cheat Sheet. Yeah, it's a big no. It's a big no, and if you want to know why, watch my rant video. The Divorce Colony. Wow. I feel some sort of way about this one, and I'm going to give it a solidly good, just because it takes place in my hometown. Married women coming to South Dakota just get a divorce, and then they peace out because they hate it so much. Yeah, I feel that. Friday Night Lights was a really surprising book that I enjoyed. I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did, and I did. The House in the Cerulean Sea. Another solidly good book. I wouldn't say that it was, for me, amazing. This was another book I read with my book club that I run with my family. Some people in the book club loved this book. It was like one of the favorite books that we read. For me, it was like too YA-y, but I think it was very warm, made me feel good, happy. So solidly good. The X-Hex, yeah, kind of just disappointing. Very I was really excited to read this. Like I was really pumped that I got it in time for Halloween. Like I literally read this over Halloween. I didn't read all of it on Halloween, but you know what I mean? Yeah, it was just kind of kind of book for me. It was pretty steamy. There were some steamy parts that I was kind of shocked. I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. The Midnight Library, I almost want to give it a no, but I enjoyed reading it. I read this for my new works book club, and it was a good discussion. It was the first book club for a lot of the folks that joined, and they loved this book. But I just, the thing I didn't like about it is that it just really like made it seem like you just have a dream and your depression is cured. As a girly going through anxiety and depression, that is not how it works, but sure. White Negroes. I would say this was a really solidly good book. There was a lot of interesting things I didn't realize, especially like cultural appropriation in the pop music industry. Yeah, I just thought it was really good. Really well done. Hook, Line, and Sinker. Solidly good. I don't think it was anything compared to It Happened One Summer, but it was good. Savage Conversations, I think, was a great read. This was like an under 2 hour audiobook that I read, and I think this was like a really interesting look at Mary Todd Lincoln and the massacre of 38 indigenous men in Mankato, Minnesota. So I just thought this was a really good, just really well done book that explored that. Great read. She Who Became the Sun, I'm gonna say solidly good. Yeah, I mean, it was fantasy and it was something different, you know? So I like it when I come out of my comfort zone. But it was good. I was surprised by it. The Worst Best Man. Yeah, this was a great read. I loved that one. Mia Sosa, she eats it up. She knows what she's doing. Wait, did I put this as one of my favorites? I can't remember. You know, it is where it is. Hiding in Plain Sight. Yeah, solidly good, I'd say. Solidly good book. This is my third Trumpian political book. And it was okay. Wedding Crasher, great read. Again, Mia Sosa, I don't know how you do it. Please keep writing. Prison by Any Other Name, solidly good. What the heck? I skipped a lot of books. Whoops. I'm like, why is there still books on here? Also, I don't know why some of these books are here. I'm sorry. Like the Hemings of Monticello, this book shouldn't be here. This book shouldn't be here. Technically, I didn't finish this book. So I thought it was too boring. This book shouldn't be here. This book shouldn't be here. This book shouldn't be here. Sorry, really unorganized. Where was I? Okay, Prison by Any Other Name. Solidly good. A lot of great information in there. Good book. And the 5, I would say this was a great read. Honestly, I think it should have been one of my favorites. I think it should have been included in the best books of 2022 video that I did. It was a really good nonfiction book, and I appreciated what the author did there. I loved it. Okay, the books that I missed. Notes on an Execution. Solidly good, I would say. And Velvet Was the Night. Very for me. Just kind of So, but there we have it. Here's a tier ranking list of all of the books I read. Wow, really impressive. I'm impressed with myself. Thanks for following along and watching me rank all of these books. And in the comments below, let me know if you read any of the books I talked about. Any of my favorites were your favorites. If you agree with any of my no's, I would love to hear it. And as always, if you enjoyed watching this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys next time.